Hello. I have something to say about the President's visit on Friday, 29 April 2011, to the Alabama region, and the Tuscaloosa, Alabama region in particular. Saw an interview with the mayor of Tuscaloosa on the PBS NewsHour on that Friday. And the mayor was saying how they will certainly need all of the state and federal resources that can be made available to them to be repaid for certain cleanup and repairs. That struck me kind of funny because the heart and soul of the Republican/conservative right, the libertarian Tea Party people, is primarily in the South, from Arkansas to Florida to Maryland and West Virginia. So, what I don't understand is, since we've got to cut the deficit, we've got to address this nation's debt. Since we've got to cut Medicare, we've got to cut money from Medicaid, we've got to cut money from Pell Grants for education. We've got to cut everything except taxes for the rich. How can they possibly, I don't understand why the president even offered them anything. Those people down there don't want federal money. They don't want the federal government. They want the size and the reach of the federal government to dissipate. That's what they're trying to do, is to, as the theory goes, starve the beast. They want to cut everything except taxes for the rich. So I don't see why they think they need or deserve, or I don't understand why they should even want federal financial assistance. Somebody's got to pay for that. We can't just grow that money on a tree up in the Northeast and send it down to the South. Nature's a bitch. Nature's nature. Ain't nothing any of us can do about it. What happened in Alabama, what happened in Tuscaloosa, is not the nation's problem. It's not Obama's problem. It's Alabama's problem. If the state wants to, break their budget, that's fine. But I don't see why the state should get any more money from the federal government, from all taxpayers. I live in Arkansas. We had stuff screwed up in Arkansas. I don't think we deserve any money. Look, if we got to cut the debt, if we got to cut spending, then that goes for everything. We can't afford to give money to people to fix the stuff. They're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. But nature's nature. You got to learn to live with it. And I don't think that they should get a nickel from the federal treasury. If we're trying so hard to cut the deficit, to cut the debt, to stop the spending, how can they possibly be hypocritical enough to now say that we need to spend millions and even possibly billions of dollars helping them to recover from an act of God? Do they not realize that their merciful, loving God is the one who created the tornado? So, maybe the churches ought to pay for it. Maybe God ought to pay for it. But certainly not the federal government, certainly not the taxpayers of America. Something to consider.